in today's episode of Top Dog Tips, we're discussing the topic of financial planning and asking the question, how long are you planning to live for? Due to recent advances in health and medicine, Canadians are now living into their mid-80s and dealing with the very real risk of outliving their retirement savings. So joining us today are financial experts Sherry, Alag and Nitin Garg, who discuss strategies for building financial plans that help you preserve wealth while achieving your personal and family goals. Enjoy.
Hello, Sherry. Hello, Nitin. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg. Listen, so increased lifespans driven by advancements in healthcare and healthy living practices present unique challenges for high net worth individuals. The potential to outlive retirement savings or income streams is a growing concern, and to navigate this new reality, financial planning is crucial. So given your expertise in financial planning and extensive experience serving high net worth individuals, we're eager to hear your insights on several critical topics today. So let's start by discussing the top 3 considerations for high net worth individuals when building out their financial plan.
Absolutely, Greg. First of all, I want to say we are very excited to talk about longevity and financial planning here today. Now, some of the top 3 consideration, first, it's really hard to pick the top 3. The top 3, if I have to think right now, it will be, first of all, how do you structure your wealth, right? So a lot of people, you accumulate wealth all your life. You also want to protect your wealth, but it's also very important. How do you structure your wealth? Now, you must be thinking, how do you structure your wealth? It's what I'm talking about. Now, each and every form of income have its own implication on your retirement. It's really important how do you house each and every investment in different accounts. So, and how do you structure your business? Do you have a hoarding company, or you do all your business in operating company? These kind of questions are really, very critical, and they have a big impact on your overall financial well-being in your retirement or while you're en route to retirement as well. Now, the second big thing I want to talk about is estate planning. Now, we work all our life, we retire. Our next thing when we retire, we start talking about or thinking about our estate. Now, estate planning, trust me, estate planning is not as simple as just going to the bank and transferring money to your beneficiaries' accounts.
Yeah.
I wish it was that simple, but it is a very complicated thing, and it's very important that people involve the experts, the financial planners, when they're planning their wealth, because there's a lot of legal and tax implication involved in transferring the wealth to the next generation. Okay. And then third thing I want to talk about is risk management. Now, everyone wants to protect their wealth, and because once we retire, that's all the income we have. That's the big nest egg we built all our life working hard, and now we're gonna use that to drive income. But what people do most of the time, the moment they get into retirement, they get very, very risk averse. They are forgetting they're gonna outlive their parents or their uncle or aunts. Now, if they have to live even extra 5 years in the retirement, how are they going to fund it if they're not doing proper risk management, proper investment planning? Because that's what is going to give them income for longer.
So it's kind of instead of having to come up with plan B of working at the Walmart, this is the time to start planning out. So
hey, there's nothing wrong. If you're bored at home, you shouldn't be obligated to work. That should be like your hobby. Some clients take up carpentry, right? Or start becoming a golfer. I don't know, right? Yeah. But you shouldn't be obligated to work.
So what do you guys see as frequent misunderstandings or mistakes that people are making when planning for their retirement?
Greg, that's a great question. So there's a few things that we've noticed has come up quite a bit in the financial planning conversation. And I would say the biggest misstep or things people are not thinking about is longevity. So I'll start off with an example. So let's just say you were retiring today. You're probably born in the 1960s sometime. At that time, the average life for a Canadian was 70 years old. So fast forward to today, the average lifespan of a Canadian has increased to 84 years. So that's an additional 14 years of retirement that nobody is talking about. People aren't planning for. And, we aren't talking about how we're going to fund those additional years in retirement. So longevity is a conversation that we're having quite a bit now. And just because we're living longer doesn't necessarily mean that we're healthier. So even when we look at the statistics today, 45% of Canadians are living with some type of chronic disease. That's a pretty alarming number. If we were to fast forward 10, 15 years, that could very well be 50% of Canadians. Now, if 50% of Canadians are living with chronic disease, what do you think is going to happen to the cost of healthcare?
My assumption is that it's going to cost you a lot more money to maintain the level of health, just maintain your mobility or whatever you're trying to maintain. That's my assumption.
You're absolutely right. Either we need to pay to live in a nursing home for someone to take care of us, or we're going to need to pay to remodel our house for accessibility. There's so many costs that we haven't thought about 10, 15, 20 years from now when it comes to healthcare. So that is definitely something that we have started planning for and are trying to integrate into our financial plans, because the cost of healthcare could honestly increase 4 times within the next 50 years. And the last big thing that we talk about, one of the blind spots of financial planning and retirement is lifestyle. We work our entire life, like we've been saying, and we spend our money, and we enjoy to spend our money. We either spend our money shopping. I like to shop. Golfing, or whatever hobbies we may have. We shouldn't have to give that up when we retire. So will you be able to maintain the lifestyle that you're currently living in retirement?
Yeah, those are important considerations, and I would venture, I guess, that when it's an uncomfortable conversation to have. Again, people spend more time planning their summer vacation than they do how they're going to live the rest of their life. And when you get nasty little details or circumstances such as chronic health issues, you know what? People don't want to talk about that. That's kind of what I see. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
You know what? It's a hard conversation to have. However, it's not a one and done, right? Like we've been talking to clients for many, many years. And when the conversation continues every year, like, as you're getting older, the conversation changes, right? But it is a conversation you need to have, not just with your doctor, but also with your financial advisors.
And your ungrateful kids.
Well, that's even a harder conversation.
Okay, great. So what kind of advice would you have for people that are getting close to retirement?
Very first thing I will say, start planning today. Doesn't matter if you're 35, 40. It's not about when you're approaching retirement. Start planning for retirement today. The sooner you start, the easier it is going to be. Because if you start planning, if you come to us like I only have 2 years to retirement, we have very limited things that we can help you with. Well, I'll give you an example. Like a lot of people don't even start planning for their budget. Now, it's very simple. And everyone think that they know how much they spend, but trust me, I went through our budget and I was shocked. I was like, we don't spend that much money. Every little thing adds up. So if you are retiring at 60 and you haven't started planning or budgeting, you are late. It's going to be hard. So start budgeting today. Make sure you know how much income you need in the retirement. And Sherry said, it's about maintaining your lifestyle, not downsizing it.
Yeah, I think a big consideration when you can talk about budgeting, but what we're really talking about is cash flow.
Yeah.
Cash in, cash out, and being aware of that, right?
Absolutely. And then the cash in is going to stop when you retire. It's going to be from your investment.
Yeah.
And so you got to be really careful. You got to have proper planners, proper team who's helping you plan for it.
And the one other thing that you may not hear very often when you're about to retire is, what are your next goals? We've been working for 30, 40, 50 years, and one day it just ends, right? We have a routine, we have a schedule. We wake up every morning, we drink our coffee, and we go to work. So what's next? What's after that? We're starting to have that conversation of what fulfills you, what motivates you, what is the reason that's going to get you out of bed in the morning? And that's a conversation you almost need to have with yourself, but it is really important about retirement. So I'll give you a really good example. There's actually a book called Ikigai. And this concept of Ikigai is actually based on Japanese culture. So there's this little town in Japan And the average lifespan of people in Japan is 100 years old. So, yeah, I know, shocking. So there was a study done to see why are people in this town living so much longer than the rest of the world. And after the study was done, they actually realized that in Japanese culture, there truly isn't a word called retirement. Retirement is a very North American concept. And it's something that the Japanese people don't necessarily follow. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to work until they're 80, 90 years old. But what it means is once they've done their job or their duty, they have other things that they work towards, like having a relationship with their grandchildren or volunteering or whatever that looks like. That motivation and fulfillment is what keeps them healthy and what keeps them going.
That's great advice. I heard some stats the other day that there's just an alarming number of men drop dead in their first year of retirement because they lose all purpose, they lose all stress, and they're used to doing what they're doing, and so I don't know, you just decide to die.
You may not decide, but it might just end up happening.
A little extreme, perhaps, but your point is well taken.
I really like what Sherry said. Like, you did your duty. So in retirement, it's all about that's when the real enjoyment, real life start. That's how we should look at it. Yeah. Not just thinking that, now my purpose of life is gone. Like, whatever we were doing before was our duty to earn that right to enjoy your life later.
That's a great mindset shift. You guys have dealt with a lot of people, a lot of different clients. Maybe you could share with our audience a story where a client was in some kind of a challenging situation, and what does it look like after they worked with you?
Yeah, correct. I'm going to share something which is very common we hear, and it's not like overly complicated. So we had a client who's very successful in his business. He started as a small business owner, very successful in his business. And one day he told us there are two things that worry him the most are because he's only the breadwinner of the family. So it makes him stressed out thinking about what's going to happen to his family if anything happens to him. Like if he's unplanned, like a disability or anything. And second, he also worried about his retirement because he wants to do his duty and enjoy the retirement. So he wants to build a nest egg that he can live his dream retirement that he always thought about. So pretty much we gathered around our team of experts. Now, if we would have gathered our team of experts, did an extensive planning for him, this client would have paid millions of dollars in taxes in retirement in order to enjoy his retirement. Now that's coming out of his nest egg. And second thing, there was no plan B for his family. His family would have to cut back on the lifestyle, or his wife may have to go work somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So big implications. So what we did was our team of experts gathered around. We did a very detailed planning for him. So out of that planning, there's three big things came out. The very first one, built a plan for his family to have the regular source of income if anything happens to him. Okay. And second one, we restructured his business. You remember in the first question I said, financial planning, you have to restructure how to restructure your wealth. We helped him restructuring his wealth. That saved him. It is going to save him and also saved him money today. And in future, it's going to save him millions of dollars in taxes. Wow. Just by making a small change in the structure of the business and also protect him as a liability wife as well. The last one about his retirement, you're not going to believe we actually set up a plan for him where he will access millions of dollars tax-free to enjoy his retirement. I'm going to say it again. The plan is to extract money tax-free to enjoy his retirement. Now, I talked to him on the day and he's very happy that we implemented the plan. Now we do a regular touch base with him every year to make sure we are on the path and he can focus 100% towards the growth of the business.
Fantastic. So what I'm hearing is the ultimate outcome is peace of mind. You can worry about other little stuff, but the big concerns and questions about what happens in retirement or when he's gone is taken care of. So powerful stuff. All right, awesome. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. Up to this point, we've explored your expertise you bring to financial planning, but your story goes beyond numbers and strategies. You guys are not just business partners, but you're also life partners. And your work is deeply rooted in your passion and your vision. So Sherry and Nitin, we'd love to learn a little bit more about you on your personal level. And so I'm curious, what's the story between how you two met?
Well, Greg, believe it or not, we met at the bank. And shocked.
I'm surprised.
Most people are. But no, in all honesty, we did meet at the bank, and we were actually in similar roles as investment planners at the branch. And you would always hear Nitin Sherry number one. It was a common thing, and so we just decided one day, why are we working apart? We might as well work together. And in having that conversation, we our relationship grew. And it may sound a little cheesy, but sometimes you find your soulmate at the bank.
You know what? It beats opening up a checking account and getting a toaster, I guess.
Little bit better than that. But no, in all honesty, we got together and we decided that, we'd be better as a team than individuals, and made a game plan. And after a few years, we wrote our business plan and built our business at Scotia Wealth Management. So it's been a really great journey.
How did your personal connection play a role in how you built your business together?
Yeah, it's and Greg, we met at the bank, so we are same person here. So we have same philosophy about life, about work, and we are very passionate about a common objective, which is our work, what we do. And I feel we are both in our dream job, and we feel really happy, and we are happy to get up every single morning and what we do, and really make an impact in our life and people's life. It really that's our passion, and I think it's really key to find your passion. And now on cherry on top, when you find a partner who's as passionate as you, and then your growth is accelerated on steroid.
We're very, very competitive people. We're the same level of competitiveness. So if he's not doing well, I'll let him know that you need to do better. And so you can only be with somebody like that if you're the same type of person, because if it was anybody else, they might have gotten a little scared. So
I can't say that, Greg. I know my personal life.
I got nothing. No, I can see you guys are definitely a powerhouse. You're aligned. People get served very well by the 1-2 punch that you guys bring to the table. So where's this passion come from? What's kind of your origin story? Why do you do what you do?
That's really a great question, because, I'm a second generation Canadian, much like many people here in Canada. My parents came from India a long time ago. And something that I noticed growing up is, the onus falls on your parents to teach you about banking, to teach you about investing, because it's not really something that's taught in our schools here in Canada. And so if you look at the financial literacy rate right now in Canada, it's quite low. So growing up here, I noticed that I had no education when it came to finance and investing. And so it was really a journey of self-education and self-motivation, and something that I found that I loved. And eventually, when I started working at the bank, I definitely made it my mission to try to educate every single person that walked in my door, because I'm not the only person that didn't know what a TFSA was or an RSP was, right? So it was definitely a passion of mine to educate everyone that came in through the door.
And then what's your story?
Yeah, Greg, my story is along the same lines, but I'm an immigrant here. So coming to a new country is not only learning about the culture, but learning about the banking and finance has become really, really cumbersome and tough. So when I was at my university, I didn't even know how to open up a checking account and how does the checking accounts or credit cards work in Canada. So I started doing all my research by myself, and then I learned myself, and I really realized it's a big, vast world. You need some education and someone to help you. Then I started helping other people in the same boat, like who are also immigrants. And in my university, I started working with a lot of foreign students and helping them and really teaching them about basics about it. I wasn't giving any advice, but helping them like how the checking account work, how you build your credit score, what not to do and what to do. So I felt really, really happy about it, doing that. And that's what I do now. And I try to build, and I'm trying to building my career in the same lines to keep helping people, keep making their life easy and helping them achieve their goals.
All right. I'll say it again. You guys are a powerhouse, man. So what's, tell us a little bit about it. What do you do? Who do you serve? And what's your philosophy behind it? What's your mission, and where are you taking this thing?
So good question. I mean, as you know, Nitin and I, we are both wealth advisors that work for the Alag Group. I mean, we are the Alag Group. And basically what we do is we help individuals, professionals, business owners, families try to achieve their financial goal by structuring their wealth in the most tax efficient way. Now, whether it's planning for retirement, building wealth for future generations, or even navigating complex investment landscapes, we try to advise our clients to make a tangible difference in their life. So we also understand the importance of financial management, the impact it has on individuals and families. And, we truly feel what we do matters. And it is a beautiful thing to see when we give someone advice 5 years ago and how that advice and them taking the advice, how that comes to fruition and how that's really changed their life. So we really love what we do.
And trust me, Greg, like I still remember, like when Sherry said it got me thinking. I still remember when I helped someone save for their house and they came back when I used to work as a financial advisor in the bank and got their mortgage. That whole journey, it was beautiful. Like that was my advice that I gave to someone and still remember the story and happiness on their face.
So to kind of wrap things up, what message do you want to convey to people that are considering using your services?
Greg, something that we want to let everybody know is if you don't know something or if you have a question, ask us. We are a message away, a phone call, an email away. It doesn't cost money to ask a question. So if you're curious about what it is that we do when it comes to financial planning, if you're curious to know what an estate freeze means, if you're curious, ask us because we will never hesitate to answer back. And we would love to help you regardless of what your finances look like. So give us a call.
All right, great. So, thank you very much. That's all the time we have for today's show. How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can reach out to us on our website, which is www.alaggarggroup.com, or they can reach out to either one of us on our LinkedIn, or you can email us. And I'll say my email is nitin.garg@scotiawealth.com. And Sherry's email is sherry.alag@scotiawealth.com.
Okay, audience. So listen, if you're getting close to retirement age and you're concerned about outliving your savings, or you don't feel that you've got a great plan, give Sherry and Nitin a call. These guys they've got your back. You can tell how honest and authentic and genuine they are. So do yourself a favor, reach out and give them a call. So that's all the time we have for today's show. Nitin, Sherry, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Greg. Thank you so much for having us.
Check it out. Take care.